Good evening, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome into another edition of the Big Man on Campus podcast. Today is Monday, May 20th, 2019. Man, does time fly anymore? It feels like just yesterday we were, talking about the first of the year, and then it was the end of college hoops. The end of college hoops, and we're almost 2 months since that day. We're about 50 days from then. So time really does fly, man. Before we know it, it'll be the end of summer. It's really almost, feeling like summer today in my area. It's mid 80s here. It's going to be down in the 70s by tomorrow, but still some quick summer weather. Time does fly. You really got to, do everything you can when you have the time and, try to prepare because stuff comes at you quick. I mean, it's only mid to end May, but before we know it, we're already talking college football. I mean, that'd be here before we know it, the end of August. So, about less than 3 months, about 3 months. So obviously, make sure you're getting prepared now for all of that. But not going to be a very long show today. I've had a migraine all day. I'm trying to get out of it, but just one of those things. But hopefully that'll kind of get past itself here, and we'll move on to tonight. Not a great card. I got to tell you, I think this card sucks. To be all honest with you, I found one or two that I considered. We'll talk NBA as well. Golden State and Portland. Golden State looking to close it out, which is no surprise. I think we all kind of thought this would be a pretty quick turn, pretty quick series. So that one's on its way to ending. I mean, you look at the fact that if Toronto doesn't win last night and they win again, Boston. I mean, this could be we could have over a week and a half till more basketball. NBA Finals don't get going for a while. So yeah, definitely. It's at least they got the win last night. We get basketball for at least another day or two. Puppy Master, Funny B, Chris, Mike, Steven, Reagan. Thanks for watching. Steve Stucci, what's up, MVP? Hope you're doing well. Spike a doobie and your migraine is gone. Well, that might be true, but I don't smoke, so I wouldn't know. But you just kind of try to deal with it, I guess. But hopefully everyone had a good weekend. Hopefully you made some money. I had a winning week last week for my premium play, so that was good. I won 5-2. I got to tell you, yesterday I had probably the worst beat I've had in a long time in any sport, really. In that Dodger and Reds game, I had the under 9.5. I mean, it's 2-0 going into the seventh inning, and the game goes over. Just a horrific beat. You look at in the final 2 innings, they scored 7 runs. 7 runs. I mean, 6 in the ninth. Are you kidding me? Brutal. Really brutal. I mean, that's where baseball really can kick in the fucking face and say, you know what? I didn't kick you hard enough. Let me kick you again. Just horrific stuff. I mean, Hungjin Ryugu, 7 innings, doesn't give up a run. So basically, the Dodgers gave you 7 2/3. Well, actually 8 1/3 with no runs. Reds scored 3 in the ninth. Just horrific. Definitely, and it was something I foreshadowed. You could kind of see it was coming if you were watching a game. But baseball will kick you sometimes, man. Sometimes you got to just be like, you know what? Let me just kind of tiptoe and just thank myself for having a good week. That'll really fucking bother you, man. Especially when you're having a good week, you get something like that to happen. It can really throw you off. I'll tell you what, over the years, I've had a lot of trouble betting on Sundays, like particularly with basketball or baseball. Baseball's tough on Sundays, man. You see a lot of high-scoring games, a lot of random things that go on. I think it's definitely something that's smart to do and just kind of take 6 days and then take the Sunday off. It's never a bad idea. Sundays are tough. You got series ending, you got travel days, you got, going to another series, all sorts of things. So that might definitely be something to keep in mind as the season goes on. Couple games tonight that I have my eye on. Again, I'm not feeling great, so we'll just kind of we're not going to be on too long tonight. If you have any questions, feel free to send them in on anything. Last night it was nice because I don't know, for whatever reason, I just really wasn't into watching sports, and there wasn't a lot on anyway, other than the Raptor game, which I don't know. Like I said, for whatever reason, I just really wasn't into watching it. So I Scarface is on, so I watched that. One thing about like movies like that is you cannot watch them on regular TV. You can't. I mean, it's brutal. You can't curse. There's commercials. And some of these networks with the commercials, it's like, I mean, they're so fucking long. It's like, Christ, man. You turn a 2 hours and 45-minute movie into 4 hours. So, but Scarface, what a just an elite film. I mean, just terrific film. But that was nice. So, all right, let's get into some of these games. One game I had my eye on, I considered the Indians tonight. They're playing great baseball right now. Carrasco's been very good. And I've talked about before, fading Oakland on the road. I don't think it's ever a bad thing to do. This Oakland team, really up until this week, was really struggling on the road. They have won 3 road games in a row, but this is a long road trip for them. You look at kind of in this price range, as an underdog, they have been horrific. 1-7 this year on the road as a dog. They're just not getting the job done. In fact, as a road dog of this price range, they're 0-3. So they're not getting the job done as big underdogs. And in general, they're not getting the job done as an underdog, which basically means that when they're facing teams that are better than they are, they don't get the job done. You beat Detroit over the weekend, scored a lot of runs, scored 28 runs in 3 games. But we all know with Detroit, they're pretty much a dumpster fire. Oakland 8-17 on the road this year, so definitely not good enough. Cleveland, I'm actually kind of interested in right now. This team's been good at home. Their pitching has been terrific. Bullpen's been very good. And you look at Carrasco, he's been on fire. And Carlos Carrasco, has 3 starts. He's only allowed 4 runs over 20 innings. As I said, pitching's been very good for Cleveland. You look at on the year, opponents only hitting 227 against the Indians. So, not only is their pitching getting the job done, we look at what Shane Bieber did yesterday, but this bullpen's coming in and closing the door, which you have to be happy with. One reason I kind of stayed off Cleveland, again, I mean, I think they get the job done here. I don't like Oakland on the road, but I'm just not a big fan of a run line at home. I kind of see this as like a 7-3 type of game, something like that, 6-3, something like that. Brett Anderson's about as average of a pitcher as you're going to find. But, again, a lot of these games tonight were tough. I think the Twins make sense, but there's a lot of reverse line movement on that game. Couldn't find any reason to back Baltimore. For as decent as Cashner's been, his ERA is still close to 5, and we know their bullpen can blow things. Texas, I considered as well, but I got a feeling the Mike Minor train's going to stop real soon. I actually backed Mike Minor last time out against the Kansas City Royals. And I want to tell you about what I saw about Mike Minor that bothered me. He got real lucky in that game. There were a lot of balls that probably should have found their way through. Kansas City really struggled to hit with runners in scoring position. It was tough. I mean, every time Mike Minor, every inning, he was giving up 2 or 3, 1 or 2 base runners, bases loaded, and he gets out of it with 1 out. I mean, he just really lucked out in that start. You look at against Kansas City, 8 hits in that game in 5 innings, 2 walks. I mean, that's a lot of base runners. Only gives up the 1 earned run. So, it was touchy. You look at that inning, the outing against Houston, 7 earned runs, gave up 7 hits, gave up 3 earned runs and 3 walks. He's starting to hit the tightrope, Mike Minor. I really believe that. Problem is, for the Texas Rangers, is Michael Leake's actually starting to pitch pretty well. These 2 outings, 14 innings, only 2 earned runs, only 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. He's starting to do some good things. So I'm kind of trying to – I don't like to step in front of guys because I know Mike Minor's kind of feeling it right now. But Seattle looks like about as strong a play as you're going to find tonight to me. I think sharps are on Seattle. I think people are starting to see that Mike Miner is going to hit the skids here real soon. And what one thing we know about Seattle, they love the home run ball. You get one home run here quick, you're going to be in business in this game. Mike Miner, it's hard to trust him right now. So in the battle of the mics, I kind of I kind of like Seattle a little bit here. A couple comments here. What do we got? What do we got? That Dodger over was horseshit. You knew Reds were going to play some. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it happens. Stuff sucks like that. You have to appreciate when you get a win like that on the other side. Yeah, but I don't ever seem to get one of those. So again, that happens. I don't think Portland has enough, even without Iguodala. Damian Lillard's hurt, and once the Warriors get a lead, yeah. Well, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, and we're going to get into that game. I have my reservations about Golden State without Iguodala. They're not going to lose this series, but as far as tonight, and we'll get into it in just a second. Oakland's on fire. Yeah, again, I don't put a ton of stock into the Tigers. That kind of beating. I think Portland will give it their last or give it their best. Yeah, we'll get into it. I'm not sure what you mean how. Yeah. Again, I already discussed that. Texas is the play? Okay, tell me why. Tell me why. Because, I mean, Texas is the play here. People know Seattle's struggling. People know what's going on with them. People love Mike Miner, yet the numbers went 25 cents the other way. Again, if I had to play baseball tonight, which I'm not, I would take Seattle. Am I taking the Blues tomorrow for an end of the Sharks? No, I think that's going to go 7. I think St. Louis will probably win in 7. But no, I'm not taking the Blues tomorrow. No. The Warriors want those 9 days off. Well, yeah, I get it. I get it. I guess you got to kind of look at it though, and again, I'll get into it in just a second. Iguodala only played 17 minutes the other night, and they still were able to get the job done and win by 11. Under on Texas, Seattle might be a good look. Weather isn't great with the tornado warning. Yeah, but tornado warnings aren't going to last till 8 o'clock. I'll have to look and see what the tornado warning is. Guys, generally tornado warnings don't last that long. They're only an hour generally, and scattered stuff I'm not overly worried about. When you have scattered weather, it's not solid rain the entire time. It's, again, as I said, scattered. And that's what you're going to have nowadays in Texas and really everywhere. The plains and the deep south, even around here. I mean, it's hot. There's a lot of humidity. That's going to breed, fronts and things, and that's going to breed weather and scattered weather. Around here last night, just to my north, there were some pretty bad thunderstorms. In fact, there was a tornado that touched down right near the PA Turnpike. So, again, that's stuff that's hard to forecast. You can't. In fact, you really can't forecast it. I mean, you can kind of say that there might be thunderstorms, but saying there's thunderstorms being a weatherman is kind of saving you. It's just kind of saying, well, there might be thunderstorms and there might not. It's like a 30% chance. But as I look at the current radar down in Dallas, there is no weather to speak of whatsoever. None. The closest weather is over in Lubbock, and that's very far. You have a little bit of weather deep near Corpus Christi, but from San Antonio to Dallas over to Midland, there is no weather, none at all. So other than something scattered popping up, we're pretty much going to be good there. See, I know I'm a good weather guy, guys. See, right? I could be a good weather guy. Very detailed. Exactly. There you go. Jay Patel. I live in Dallas. Yeah, you got to look at radar. We got to look at radar. It's windy. There you go. Okay, so that could be good. Could be Could be a high scoring game there. I feel like if you like, if you like this game, you got to think runs. So I feel like if you like Seattle, I think it correlates to the over. You got to figure Mike Leake's going to get hit a little bit. but I'm not jumping off Seattle's bandwagon just yet. I'll back them tonight here. Padres, you continue to kind of wonder why their numbers so high. They're always laying big numbers lately. They were doing it the other night against Pittsburgh on Friday night against Lyles, who was terrific. Pittsburgh again had a great weekend, but you look at tonight with San Diego laying 145 ish here against Arizona. Two things we know about Arizona: good offensive team, and Luke Weaver's been very good. Very good. And you're getting a San Diego team that's not very potent from a lineup perspective. You have your guys, your Machados and your Myers and your Franmil Reyes you got to kind of work around. But Luke Weaver's been really good. Really good. You look at 9 starts, Ganire just north of 3. They've won 7 of his 9 starts. But you look at Paddock, he's been good as well. But I feel like Arizona has a little bit more reason to back this group right now. I don't think this price, it's just a bit too high for me. We look at that one Paddock thing where Paddock had that great outing against the Mets, but the Mets are the Mets. The Frank guy on Twitter needs a friend. Very sad, his behavior, attention seeking to the extreme. Yeah, Frank is Frank. Frank, if you don't know who we're talking about Frank Fleming over at Sports Encyclopedia. He works for Barstool. Listen, I know Frank. I've known him for a while. Frank is just an obsessive Mets fan. I think he's having some trouble right now with things, but Frank will continue to talk that no one supports him. I'm very supportive of him. I've been in his corner for a while. I've tried to help him. Look, I have weight problems myself, and I think for Frank, I get where he's coming from, but I heard him say yesterday that he gets no support. Which, look, he needs to always remember that Twitter assholes are not going to be comforting. But your true fans and friends are going to be supportive of you. He takes the Mets way too seriously. And some of his behavior lately has been a little too much. Saying he's going to do bad things to himself is definitely extreme to me. But he's very passionate about his team. Did you hear about the soccer ref that collapsed and died in Bolivia? No, I did not. Look, you're gonna, obviously we, sad to hear, definitely. But Bolivia, Peru, all those areas, very high elevation. Definitely hot, tropical, steamy. Things like that happen randomly. It definitely sucks to hear stuff like that. I saw an article today, and then we'll get into the Warriors Portland game. I saw an article. Reeves wrote it. A good friend of the show, Barstool Reeves, wrote it about Enes Kanter. We talked about Enes Kanter last week on this show about some of the behavior from some of the fans around the NBA. But I saw an article that Enes Kanter basically has a button next to his bed where if he feels that there's harm coming to him, he just presses the button and the FBI's there, which first of all is definitely concerning because you wonder, like, the FBI is everywhere, obviously. But I also think to myself, like, does Enes Kanter and the FBI really think that if some operative was going to come and kill him, do they really think that they would attack him in his home as he's sleeping? Because, I don't know. I mean, maybe the FBI is not sure, but most individuals that are going to do things like this are just going to do it randomly. They're going to poke you with a needle, and it's going to or something like that. They're not going to come to your house and rob you and then shoot you in the head. I just don't think that it works like that. And either way, I guess I'm not sure I understand the button. Because don't we all have a button in a way? We just call the cops, no? I don't know. This is odd to me. Is there a special task force that protects Enes Kanter? I mean, look, I love the guy. I think he's definitely you feel bad about the things he has to deal with, but I don't know. It that like seems like kind of a waste of resources. No, like not that it's a waste to protect him, but doesn't everyone have this ability? Like where you can call the cops and like if it's an FBI centered investigation, they'll get involved. And it kind of makes you wonder, like, how close is the FBI to like people? Like, do they sit down the street? Do they tail this guy when he goes places? Because I got to be honest, I don't think they're going to hit him in his home as he sleeps. But what do I know? Definitely weird. Great story though, whoever Reeves for writing that. All right. So yeah, as far as MLB, the only games I really was close on were the Mariners and the Indians on the run line. But we got a run line here that is a home team, so that's kind of off limits for me. So for the sake of the show, free play Mariners. Let's go to the other game. Let's go to Warriors Blazers game 4. Warriors 3, total 219 and a half. You know, first kind of glad to this game, and I really have no interest in Portland. To be frank with you, I do think over the course of a game, I feel like if you're going to get anything out of Portland, it'll be in the first half. But one thing about Golden State is, I mean, I just don't really want to bet against them. I just don't. Lillard's, I think, really kind of hitting the fatigue thing. Outside of Lillard and McCollum, there's just not a ton of talent on this team. Enes Kanter's been pretty much non-existent. I guess you occasionally get something out of Rodney Hood. And where's Aminu been? I mean, is he in this series? Is he even playing? Mo Harkless, where are those guys at? I like the move by the Warriors to take Bogut out, putting like the Jordan Bell or the Damian Jones or someone else in. They're more mobile. They can do more. I like that move. Alonzo McKinney's giving them a lot of good minutes. Um, Obviously, you're going to lose a lot defensively with Iguodala. So I think there is kind of the shot of maybe taking a shot with the over here. I think we've seen the Golden State can't be defended this series. I think that's pretty simple, right? Portland's going to have to give everything they have, obviously. I mean, it's now or never, you know. Losing Iguodala hurts. I mean, that's a big loss defensively. You know, Draymond Green, great player, great defender. He was unbelievable the other night, but you lose a lot. I mean, Lillard's bound to have a much better game without Iguodala in there. I mean, if you're the Blazers, so what adjustments do you really make? And the last thing you want to have if you're a Blazers team is you're tired and winded. This game is pretty simple for me. I think Golden State covers, and I would take the over because I think we've seen Portland can't defend the Warriors, and at least in the first half, Golden State was horrific on defense. What they have in the first half? 64 points, Portland. So I mean, I think without Iguodala, that's definitely a help. Getting him out of the game because he's the best defender they have. Pretty rough beat on the total if you had the total the other night. I mean, Portland had 64 points at the half and they only scored 99. So they only scored 33 points in the second half. There's been a couple rough performances from teams in the second half. When we saw Toronto the other night, 17 in the fourth quarter. Rough stuff. But if I had to play this game, I'd take the Warriors. I'm just not really thinking that Portland can I think they're tired. I don't know what else to say about it. Thanks for watching, Mike, Anthony, Josh, Gerald. McKinney was plus 24 in the last game. Wow. Yeah, he's been helpful for them. Hitting some threes, giving them something off the bench. That's something about Golden State when they're getting their bench play. I mean, that's been big for them. They've been real good. But but I didn't know he was plus 24. Wow, that's pretty it's pretty unbelievable. If you have any questions, feel free to send them in. Whatever, anything you want to know, anything you want to talk about. If anyone wants to try to stump me on countries and capitals, you can try. I'm kind of in the mood for that today. So any countries and capitals, throw them in. You try to stump me, and then we will wrap it up as I said. So 5 or 10 minutes will hang on here. But other than that, not a ton going on tonight. No, you assume we're just gonna have baseball. That's gonna be rough, isn't it? Time is now to start looking into your football stuff, guys. Who do you like, Chelsea or Arsenal? I like Chelsea. I like Chelsea. Europa League, that's coming up. We'll get into that once it gets closer. What I believe? I believe it's Saturday. Dennis, welcome in. Ninja, thanks for watching. Aaron, thank you for watching. Cobra Sport. Cobra Sports, Seattle team total over. Nice. Like it. Like it. Do I like the Braves tonight? No, I can't say I do. I'm not. I looked at that game a bit, not a ton, just a bit. I know sharps are on the other side, so that's kind of one thing that kept me off. That was one of the big sharp moves of the day. The Atlanta Braves. People like this Suarez. One thing about Suarez, though, we have to remember he had a lot of trouble last year with walks. That was a big problem for Andrew Suarez. That could be a problem. I haven't had a lot of luck betting against the Braves, so that was kind of one I stayed off of. Capital of Liechtenstein. Uh, oh man, Vaduz, I believe Vaduz. Liechtenstein, very small, German speaking, very small. Vaduz, I believe, is the capital of Liechtenstein. What else do we have? Capital of Montenegro. Well, see, the fact that you asked me that, Big Ragu, is kind of a slap in the face because I'm Albanian. So I should definitely know the capital of Montenegro. The capital of Montenegro is Podgorica. Podgorica. Capital of Macedonia is Skopje. So yeah, I know all those. Good one, Big Ragu. That's a good one. The capital of Slovenia, Ljubljana. That's another uh, Balkan nation. Balkans are all around each other. Capital of Bhutan. Bhutan's Buddhist. It's in the Himalayas. It's near Nepal, Bhutan, Thimphu, I believe. Thimphu. There you go. I'm pretty tough. I'm pretty tough to beat. I'm pretty good at capitals. Europa League is next Wednesday. Yeah, why did I think it was on the weekend? The Champions Leagues are on the weekend. How do you feel about the Minnesota Angels tonight? I talked about that one. I wait, did I? Yeah, I did talk about that one. Yeah, I like the Twins, but I know Sharps are on the other side. So, um, you know, I don't know much about this Cole. Odorizzi's been really good. I'll tell you one thing about this series: both teams are murdering the ball right now, murdering the ball. So, this might be a good over spot. If you like the Angels, I'd probably bet over. The capital of Tanzania. Uh, by the way, Tanzania is underrated. Beautiful country, coastal, very nice. You can hunt, which I don't. I more or less mean safari hunt, not hunt. But uh, yeah, Tanzania is Eastern Africa. It's near Burundi and Kenya. Uh, fuck, man. Tanzania. Starts with a D. I know that. And it's not Dar es Salaam, which many people think it is. Dodoma or Didomi, something like that. I think I'm in the. I think I'm in the. In the. I think I'm in the game there with that one. I'm close. I think I'm close with that one. That's a tough one. Just because Africa's just there's so many countries and by the way, though, Tanzania very beautiful, beautiful beaches and things like that. St. Kitts and Nevis, another beautiful country. If you're looking to go somewhere, that's a great vacation spot, St. Kitts and Nevis. As far as the capital, well, it's an island, very small island. Fuck, man. I'm not trying to be like obtuse here, but I don't think they have a capital. It's more of like settlements and stuff. So I don't think they have a capital. If they do, I don't think it's recognized by anything. Like they have like settlements and things like that, but I don't think they have a capital as far as I know. So I think you're trying to stump me there, Shane M. But I don't I don't know offhand of that one. That's a really tough one. If there is, I think it's kind of unfair because it's I don't think it's recognized by anything. Micronesia, the Federated States of Micronesia, another beautiful country. You guys are very interested in beautiful countries today. Pulakar, I believe, is Micronesia. Micronesia out in the Pacific, near Papua New Guinea. A lot of small islands, Western Pacific. Um, very, very beautiful. A lot of beautiful ones today here. The finals are in Azerbaijan. Oh, yeah, that's true. So it's going to be like, yeah, okay. Got you. That's a good one. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. A lot of people are giving these questions about the countries and capitals, and everyone's picking beautiful countries. Um, Dominican Republic, another beautiful country. Santo Domingo, that's an easy one. Santo Domingo, but yeah, if anyone has any like correspondence on the capital of St. Kitts, I'd like to know because I don't think it's been recognized. So that's something you could take to the bank. I don't think it's been recognized. Another beautiful country. That's a country I'd love to go to. Faroe Islands. You talk about a really beautiful country up in kind of the North Atlantic above Denmark. A lot of volcanic islands and things like that. Beautiful Faroe Islands. Tórshavn is the capital of Faroe Islands. Beautiful, beautiful country. Uh, definitely if you're interested in kind of the Norwegian, Denmark, Finland type country, that's where you want to go. The Marshall Islands. Well, I actually know about this because the Marshall Islands are not even really recognizable on the map. If you want to find out anything about the Marshall Islands, you really have to look because there's not much of the Marshall Islands. In fact, Marshall Islands are actually near Micronesia. They're southwest of Hawaii, basically. The capital of the Marshall Islands is Majuro, literally in the middle of the sea. That's where the Marshall Islands are. Did we talk about NBA yet? We did. We did very quickly. If you could move to any country in the world for an extended period of time, where would it be? Um, you know, again, this is probably a pretty common answer. Again, I want to make this clear. I know a lot of people say they know the capital of St. Kitts. I don't see recognizable capital, but you know, okay. If I could move to any country, where would I go? Albania for sure. I mean, it's a beautiful country. I know language, everything about it. So that would be where I would go for sure. If I couldn't go to Albania, I'd probably go Italy. Maldives definitely would be one. I would. I'll come up with my top 10. Some of these countries we've talked about, I definitely would consider for sure. Um, I've always said it's a shame that we're at war with like places like Iraq and Syria and those kind of places because they're actually quite beautiful with like the deserts and things like that. The world's a beautiful place, man. I mean, there's so many things that it's almost there's almost not enough time. You know, go into that region, Bhutan or Nepal with the mountains. Going up to Tajikistan or Uzbekistan. Some of the border regions, Russia, like places like you know um, Chechnya and things like that. All those places, beautiful. A lot of these places, though, we're at war with, or we've had issues with. So yeah, so many places around the world that are beautiful. Dubai and Northern Africa. Egypt. That's a place I'd love to go. Egypt, see the pyramids for sure. Some of the mountainous regions in South America, in Bolivia and um, Peru, beautiful, beautiful. Definitely cultured everywhere. All right, guys, we'll do this for a few more minutes and then we will wrap it up. We can't sit here all night. A lot of people jump off when we start talking capitals of countries, but we're having fun. Ivory Coast, Côte d'Ivoire, another very beautiful country, coastal. Yamoussoukro is Côte d'Ivoire. Reason I know that is Didier Drogba is a great soccer player. He's from the Ivory Coast, and I've heard of it before. So yeah, definitely another beautiful country. Bora Bora, another one that's kind of like St. Kitts and Nevis, kind of a settlement like area. I don't know that there's a recognized capital. Um, I would think the largest city, which would be Vagatapa, would be the capital. But I don't. Again, don't know the recognized capital. You got to remember, a lot of these nations aren't recognized as actual countries, and again, the rule in this little game is they have to be a country. Capital Jamaica, Kingston. What else do we have here? Great shirt. Love you representing the mid majors. Thank you. No problem. Swaziland. Swaziland is in Africa, um, which is interesting because Swaziland has a few different capitals, I believe. Lobamba is the capital, Swaziland. But all right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks, all of you, for checking out the show today. I do appreciate it. We have some fun. We always try to fill whatever we have. Capital Tonga, Nuku'alofa. I think every country mentioned today is beautiful in some sort. Interesting. But all right, guys, we're out of here. You all have a great night. Thanks for joining us. I'll throw out a free play. We'll go with the Mariners. That'll be our free play. Which that could get ugly because the Mariners have not played well lately. But all right, I'm out of here. You all have a great night. We will see you here Tuesday.